I will be giving one punishment to every single La Liga club, starting with Atletico Madrid. What punishment will they be getting? And they land on release all under 24 players. So every player who's under 24 years old will now get released. And this is what damage it has done to their team. And honestly, looks completely the same. Atletico Madrid got completely lucky. We will be spinning this wheel for every club in the La Liga. But there's a twist. As you can see, there is also 3 power-ups on the wheel. So 3 teams will get lucky. And in the end, we will see who can win the La Liga after all this chaos. We might see Real Madrid relegated or Getafe win the La Liga, but who knows? Next team we're spinning for is Athletic Bilbao. Let's see what it lands on now. And they get random ratings. So every player here will get their rating randomized. And their ratings has now been randomized. I can see why Nico Williams and Barcelona deal didn't go through now, but they do kind of have a decent defense. Not really, actually. Their team got hit harder than PSG got hit in the Club World Cup final, but it's looking like they will get relegated. Next club we have now is Osasuna. They finished 9th last season, so let's see what their fate will be according to the wheel. And they get a release all midfielders. And you know what? I think they'll be fine. They still look the same as before. Next club we're going to is Leganés, who did actually just get relegated in real life. But can the wheel help them? And no way. They've landed on the first power-up, which is a 99 rated attack. That's insane. So their attack has now been upgraded to 99, including the attackers on the bench. This should be saving them from relegation. Definitely. Should even probably get top 10 with this team. Anyways, next team is Alaves, only getting 15th last season. And the wheel will now land on Walker in goal. Okay, so that basically means Kyle Walker will have to be their goalkeeper. Maybe this isn't too bad. Because as you might know, he actually has experience as a goalkeeper, so we might see Walker pull of a masterclass for Alaves. And we've now reached Barcelona. This will be very interesting. Barcelona could get nerfed hard here. But let's just see what the wheel lands on. And they get release all defenders? Let's just release all their defenders then. I feel like they got kind of lucky here, but it has still hurt them. They're using their midfielders as defenders. But will they still be able to dominate Spain without any defenders? That will be interesting to see. Maybe this is Real Madrid's chance to win the La Liga again, but it depends on what they get later on in the video. Anyways, next club for now will be Getafe, a club that is in Madrid. But what will they get? And they land on release every player over 80 rated. And just look at how lucky they've gotten. They will literally only lose 1 player, their main goalkeeper, Soria. But you know what? That's actually much worse than it looks, because their second goalkeeper is this 69 rated keeper. So even though they only lost 1 player, it did a lot of damage to them. Next team up for a punishment or maybe a power-up is Girona. Can Girona get lucky? No, they can't. They get 0 defending. So every player will have to get their defending to 0 now. So everyone has their defending stats at 0 now. Or not really. As you can see, it doesn't really say 0 or 1 in defending, but the 3 stats I've made 1 is defensive awareness, with also standing and sliding tackling at 1, and their attack hasn't gotten affected at all. Their midfield has kind of gotten affected, but their defense has been absolutely destroyed. They basically don't have a defense. Yeah, Girona ain't gonna do anything with this team. But the next team getting a spin on the wheel is Real Valladolid. What will they land on? And damn, they get 0 pace. So let's remove the pace of all these players. And every player here on Valladolid now has 1 in pace. Yeah, I clickbaited you. It's not actually 0 because that's not possible, but 1 in pace. Their 2 center backs and midfielders hasn't really gotten worse, but their wide players and their striker has been nerfed hard. I think Real Valladolid will probably also get relegated. But next club we have now is Rayo Vallecano. What will they get? And they get flipped their ratings. So that could both be good and bad. But let's see. And their ratings has now been flipped. Let's quickly put the best players in. And damn, they actually got better. So this hasn't even been a punishment for them, but more of a power-up. Could even go on to win the La Liga with this team. Next up, we have Celta Vigo. What will they get from the wheel? And they get remove every foreigner. So they're only allowed to use Spanish players. Let's quickly remove all these non-Spanish players. So they now only have Spanish players. And their team still looks pretty good. The defense is the part that probably got hurt the most, but still a decent team overall. But now we're going to Espanyol. What will their fate be from the wheel? And they get release starting 11. So I will just release their current starting 11 on the game, and every player from their starting 11 has been released now. And yeah, you can see they definitely are not a La Liga side anymore. They look more like they belong in the 2nd division, but we're getting close to Real Madrid. But next is Mallorca. What will they be getting? And they almost get prime Onana, Maguire, and Antony, but instead they land on worst rating, which basically means every player in the starting 11 will become the rating of the worst player there. So the worst player in the starting 11 is 75, so every player there is now also 75 in the starting 11. That's not bad, you know. They still have a pretty solid team. But we've now reached Real Betis. What will they be landing on? Oh my god. Everybody stop what you're doing. Real Betis will be getting a prime Onana, prime Harry Maguire, and also prime Antony. That's insane. They already had prime Antony, but now also Maguire and Onana in their team. They will be absolutely unstoppable. Every other team is jealous, but we're finally at Real Madrid. This will be huge. What will Real Madrid get from the wheel? And they get a 1 rated attack. Damn. So I've now downgraded their attack to 1 rated. Every single one of their stats are 1 rated. So Barcelona doesn't have any defenders, and Real Madrid basically has no attackers. This will get interesting. Neither will probably win the La Liga. But let's go on the next team, which will be Real Sociedad. I've got some bad history with them, and they will be landing on swap goalkeeper and striker. So their goalkeeper will now play at striker, and their striker will be their goalkeeper. I've also released all other strikers and goalkeepers so that they're forced to play in their position. We're almost at the end. 4 teams left, and still 1 final power-up left. We're now at Sevilla. What are they getting from this wheel? And they get release all wide players? So that means they lose their wingers and full-backs. Let's release them. I think Sevilla should be grateful. It could have been worse, but they will probably survive. 3 teams left. Las Palmas up now, and they get first rating, which basically means each player will go back to their first ever FIFA rating. Damn, let's just do that quickly. And every player has now returned to their first ever FIFA rating. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Don't get me wrong, the team is trash, but I thought it would be a lot worse. We only have 2 teams left now, Valencia and Villarreal, and we have 1 punishment and 1 power-up left. Let's start with Valencia. What will they be getting from the wheel? And oh no, they get the last punishment, which is release all Spanish players. Damn, that's a lot of players getting removed now, and I've had to add extra players to the team because there wouldn't be enough. But this is their team, and they're missing 2 midfielders and have a goalkeeper at center back. Yeah, they ain't going far at all. Last we have Villarreal, and we don't even really need to spin the wheel because they can only land on one thing, and that's the last power-up, full potential. So I will be putting everyone in this team at full potential. Everyone is now at full potential. Yeah, their team looks really strong. Even all these players in the reserves has been upgraded, so they're hella stacked. But that's now all 20 teams completed. 17 teams got punished, but Leganes, Real Betis, and Villarreal got power-ups. How much will this change the results of the La Liga? And let's simulate the La Liga season and see who the La Liga champions will be. Maybe one of the 3 power-up teams, or still a top La Liga side. Let's find out. So, I've now simulated till the end of the La Liga season. Let's reveal the league slowly. Let's actually first check the top scorer, and the top scorer was Antony. That's actually not surprising at all. But anyways, the 3 teams that got relegated was Real Valladolid, which was 0 pace, Athletic Bilbao with their random ratings, and Las Palmas with everyone at their first rating. None of the power-up teams are yet to be seen. In the 12th, we do have Valencia, even without all their Spanish players. In 11th, it's Rayo Vallecano, and in 10th place, we have Sevilla. My enemy, Real Sociedad, got 9th, and in 8th place, we have Celta Vigo. Osasuna got 7th, even without their midfielders, and Barcelona could only get 6th without their defenders. In 5th, we have Villarreal, which is the first power-up side, so their full potential got them to 5th. In 4th, we have Real Betis, yet another power-up side. With the 3 goats in that team, Madrid still got 3rd without their attackers, and oh my god, Leganes went from relegation to 2nd, but in 1st place, we have Atletico Madrid. That's insane. What a crazy plot twist. I thought Real Betis would have won it, but Atletico Madrid also makes sense. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, comment down below what I should do next, and don't forget to like and subscribe, or else I'm putting you in my basement.